Soon as we step on the mic, man, you notice the difference. Heavenly blessed with the melanin, baby, you know that we winning. No time for the long talk, got 120 on the clock. Wednesday, 8 through 10, all the bad vibes better stop. Cause you gotta come with that energy. Soon as we step on the mic, man, you notice the difference. Heavenly blessed with the melanin, baby, you know that we winning. No time for the long talk, got 120 on the clock. Wednesday, 8 through 10, all the bad vibes better stop. Cause you gotta come with that energy. Casual convos, baby, come down and just sit with me. Lil' Coco be spitting that remedy. Casual convos, baby, come down and just sit with me. You better take this shit serious. She dropping knowledge on head and it's free for the play. Tap in right now if you curious. We got the ham radio going lit every age. We go from people to family to pilots. Stay with me if you got something to say. You know it's important if we go acknowledge. Speak on the business and get out the way. What you gonna say about my mama? She winning, you rockhead.
Hello, welcome to the Casual Convo Show, where we have conversations about topics that affect the community's personal and business relationships. We always have the casual convo, so you don't have to have the tough convo. I am your host, Coco, and with me, like,
I'm so late.
you ain't even let me get it out. And with me, of course, is my amazing, multi-talented co-host, Big Boscoe from the Bronx.
What's up, y'all?
Erky. I swear.
To get that glory. What's up, y'all?
How are you?
Doing well. How about yourself?
Pretty good, pretty good. Can't complain.
All right. Before you start, the cop name was Jenkins.
That sounds familiar.
Jenkins. He's the one that had the task force getting the guns off the street, and they found out they were selling. We'll talk about that later.
Yeah, it sounds about right.
Yeah.
I guess we start with the mental health check-in like we do every week. For me, a little stressful. Little trying. I must say, had to lean heavily on my spirituality, meditation, things like that, just to stay focused. Got a little bit of bad news throughout the week, but it's okay. We're gonna work through it. I'm not discouraged. I'm encouraged to make it better and just stay focused. So I guess I will say my mental health is okay today.
Yeah, same here. I had a rough Monday and Tuesday. That's why people didn't see me on Facebook that much. But fought through it, and took me a little drive. And shouts out to Melanie Hayes, a Facebook friend, a fellow New York Giants fan. She came through on her way to the next city to see some sights here in the Carolinas. So she stopped through at my job. She got me this New York Giants flag, gave me a hug, and that kind of like brought my spirits up.
What's her name?
Melanie Hazer.
Melanie, ain't nobody say you get him that big flag. Now he gonna think he can stand out every week.
She got me a flag. She brought me the sticker. And she got my daughter a bracelet, and she looked out, and it was real great for her. I really appreciate her coming to the job, like hitting me up, I'm coming through your city, and she came through, stopped at my job, and it was on point. Yeah, that was a big boost, but I'm good. And as we say with the mental health check-in, reach out to somebody. What's up, Shy? Congratulations to my boy Shy Van Dam, who got married this weekend.
Oh, congratulations!
Dude, it's like my nephew right there. I'm happy for him. I mean, I wish I could have made his wedding, but I was so tired from driving. That's another thing that got me down, because that's my man. I couldn't make it to his wedding. But I'm happy to see, after all these years, he finally got it done. Should have been married, but that's another story. But that's my man's right there. Like
sure, don't listen to him. Congratulations.
He knows. We go. He's the one that gave me the name Big Boscoe, because I was like, man, my name is Boscoe. He's so Big Boscoe. Yeah, so that's my dude. If you're going through mental things, reach out to somebody. If whether spiritual, whatever you got to do what you have to do to get your mental health right. Because sometimes all you have is you. Find yourself some hobbies. Take yourself a drive. But of course, reach out to people who you know you can trust. And for those who are trying to help someone with mental issues or whatever, feeling down, don't say stuff like, "What are you doing being depressed for?" Blah, 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 blah. Those are not questions that you need to be sending anybody. Find out what the problem is. Get a person a hug. Give them a kiss. Take them out to dinner. Take them out to lunch. Do something, but make them feel like they have someone they can lean their head again, lean their head on their shoulder.
Also, to add to that, I think it's also important when people are expressing themselves and how they feel in that moment and their emotion. We, especially in our community, we need to get out of the habit of telling people you don't even need to. I don't know why you feel like that, or you need to stop doing it. You need to stop feeling that way. No, allow people to feel exactly how they feel. It's okay to feel any type of emotion that you have in the moment. I can see if you saying don't wallow in it. But at least allow people to get it out, because then when we shut people down, they never open back up. So that's why you see a lot of people that we know or in our communities hold on to so much and start spiraling. So that's all I got on that one.
You know, sometimes all they want you to do for them is listen, and then give them a hug. That might be the biggest thing they have all day, and it might it may put them on cloud 9 the rest of the day because they know someone actually listened to them.
Yep.
So, yeah.
Okay. You want me to introduce the topic?
That was
a
good magic trick. Man, you just made the cup appear in your hand.
Oh, actually, okay. So let me clarify. So I know a couple of shows ago, I said clear cup, non-alcoholic, color cup, alcoholic. That's not the case for tonight. I'm actually drinking tea. So I have ginger tea and I have peppermint inside the tea. So I'm drinking ginger mint tea. So no, I'm not drinking today. So it's not gonna be no random moments. I'm gonna try to stay in my zen, okay?
Shout out to Matrix joining in. What's up, Matrix?
Yo. Look, she know what I mean. I'm still waiting on my rematch with the bowling because she tried to show off for me last time.
Oh, she got a game like that?
Yeah, she had a glove, man. A little glitter glove.
Oh. We're gonna talk about that a later time.
No, it's not a Long Island. Look,
now she's legit because she hit me
my
up.
level.
Yeah, she's just see later.
I don't lie on my level. But so tonight I'm gonna just introduce it before we get into Bosco thoughts, because I'm quite sure you're gonna like hit it out the park like you always do.
Well, I'm gonna bring the thoughts a little later, so once we get into the flow.
Oh, okay, cool.
Yeah.
So today we're gonna be talking about homelessness, especially homelessness in our communities throughout the country. So of course there are over 582,462 people in America that's homeless. That's just recorded. So we got to also imagine the ones that's not documented as being homeless. So I think this is an issue that I wanted to touch because we don't talk about it. We overlook homeless people as if they're not human beings. And that's a major issue, especially here in Baltimore. Hi, Tanya. There's a lot of like vacant buildings, vacant properties, things like that. So when we talk about like affordable housing and all of these things, I'll dig a little bit into that later. So I really thought we should have like an organic conversation about homelessness, not coming from a politician that's trying to get voted in, a celebrity that's not even facing homelessness, or who not even trying to give back to the community or anything like that. Amongst people who we probably know, see every day in our communities, this is like a major issue, and it affects all of us in ways that we don't even understand. And we're going to talk about that today. Feel free to comment, call in. If you're on Facebook, please comment. We will acknowledge you. We will talk, mention, read your comments, go back and forth with you. If you want to also call in 410-375-8971, that is going across the screen.
Shout out Richie Hicks, my partner, my other partner in crime. I want to read his comment real quick. It's our society preconditioning folks to act like homeless people aren't equals. Many homeless people have served and fallen on hard times, and it's sad. And you know what? Let me mention some of my thoughts right now before we start. I used to be homeless, y'all. And all my friends said, no. Yes, I was homeless. No drugs, no alcohol, nothing like that. situation happened, I found myself homeless. People say, what do homeless people look like? If people saw me on the street, even people today, I dressed the same as I dressed when I was homeless. No one knew I was homeless because I had a system. And what I did was I got me a membership at a gym, Anytime Fitness. And I I bathed every day. I would work out because I stayed in shape because it helped with my mental. Because I was like, here I'm in a situation like, what do I do? So I went to the gym. That gave me like an hour or two to really get my head together. I bathed every day. If I had to wash whatever, I would wash it in the shower, put it in the bag, go somewhere, hang it up, whatever. I found me a place to sleep because I slept. I ain't gonna lie, I slept in the park a few times. Never slept during the daytime because I didn't want anyone to think I was homeless. But I would find a park and I'll find it further. And I didn't care if someone jumped on me or whatever. At that point, I didn't care because I was homeless. And I found when I was out there, you really don't value your life anymore because you already feel you failed. Everyone makes you feel like you failed. And it's hard. And I see why a lot of people don't come out of homeless. We'll get on that later. But with me, I found me a building and I played on my stuff in New York. How people in New York always, the big buildings get on top, I found me an abandoned building and I scoped it out for a while. And I said, no one goes up there. And I went up there and I slept. I slept. I got a few ponchos I would buy, whatever money I had. And I built me a small tent just in case it rained. I played on my military experience. And that's how I survived because I tried to get in shelters. The shelters were full. And I just had this thing where there were other homeless people and I just didn't trust them like they didn't trust me. But I had to survive. My daughter came around. She saw what was up. And she helped me get on my feet some. Then I finally got into a shelter and kept on moving. But don't judge everyone who's homeless. Don't assume because of the way a person dressed. I was probably the cleanest guy out on the street. But you could never tell I was homeless. I dress the same way today. So it's just hard, man. Like Matrix said, sleeping on the roof is safe. It's safe because people don't expect you to be up there. And the one thing about being up there, you know when someone's coming up there. Especially with, like I said, with me, I'm ex-military. So I knew how to get up on the building where people would need freaking whatever to climb up there. I knew how to get up there, putting your hands between the bricks and climb, 2 or 3 stories around the back. But
Hi, Fallon.
Fallon's in the building. What's up, Fallon?
Fallon said it can happen to anyone.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's important to point out as well, because you have so many people that think they're above reproach, or they think, oh, they're up here, and they look down on people because they think they're winning. I just wanted to touch on something really quickly to kind of open the conversation up a little bit more.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of times during COVID, working in mental health, I saw things from a completely different spectrum.
Mm-hmm.
COVID had people literally losing their minds, and I'm not even being funny. I mean, literally losing their minds. People who have never had a psychotic. Fallon can speak on it too. She was with me. People were literally losing their minds. People who never ever had a mental break or an episode.
Mm-hmm.
The inpatient units were flooded to capacity, ERs to capacity. So many people lost their homes and are still homeless to this day because of COVID. So when, like Fallon mentioned, it can happen to anyone. I'm talking about people who thought that they were secure. And, and when we talk about budgeting and savings, people didn't have savings because they was making money. And like most of the people in the Black and brown communities live check to check.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of us don't have financial literacy or financial knowledge. Let's just keep it a buck. The financial means to save, because some people are still making, like, let's be real, minimum wage does not cover shit. Mm-mm. It does not pay for anything.
No.
One of the number one causes of homelessness today is poverty. The number of people living in poverty today is crazy, and they want to call us the hoods, the ghettos, the ones that people call us ignorant, monkeys, animals, all of these things. And
animals is the main one.
trying to survive. Because when you get hungry, you do what you got to do.
Do what you got to do.
So even if you working a job, maybe get a job. Do you know how many homeless people do have jobs? It's still not.
Yeah.
They still don't make enough to afford affordable housing. So when we talk about affordable housing, what is that? You spend at least 30% of your income on rent.
Mm-hmm.
You got to choose between food, medicine, or your bills or rent these days. Because with the cost of living has increased, nobody's paid his. So if you're really technically not making like six figures or more, you are you ain't really, you ain't living the way you be trying to put yourself out to be, unless you have multiple incomes in the home, right? So I say that to say this. When we look at people, when we look at certain things and we make it seem so easy, you got to look at the number of people who don't have the knowledge, who don't have the education, who don't have a lot of these resources that we're going to speak on today, that want to get. I got to be real mindful because of my job of what I say.
Right, I know.
I didn't get approved and stuff.
I know.
But there are resources out there that people don't even know about. When I tell you, sometimes some people just don't know where they got it. Once they pay their rent, they don't know how they going to eat, and they got kids.
Yeah.
Literally. You go. I
want to read a comment that I want to make. I want to make a couple of Tanya. Shout out to Tanya Patterson. Like I said, that's my girl right there. I always say she rides hard for black men, black people, period. I slept in police station, park benches, hospitals, airports, my car with my daughter. And beautiful daughter too. She got a beautiful daughter. All because I couldn't work anymore due to an injury. And we're talking about the people making money and working. I've seen so many people when I was homeless who worked, but they still didn't make enough to get their own place. Eventually they did. Like with my situation, I got lucky. I happened to bump into a veteran, a person who worked with the homeless veterans. Just by chance, we were talking, and I was, saying, hey, she said, the way you do things, you're military. I said, yeah, I'm ex-military. She said, you're homeless. I said, yeah. She said, why are you here? And I said, I don't got nowhere to go. So she took me to the VA, got me set up. And after that, I started getting help. In our community, yes, we don't have a lot, true, but we don't take advantage of the opportunities we do have. We think it can't happen. My homelessness started in 2008 when, because we had the gas was freaking $1 million and everything. People losing their houses, cars. You had executives jumping off of buildings because they couldn't feed their family. That's when I became homeless. Right after that, November 5th, 2008. And I stayed homeless until August 17, 2009. And during that time, this is when I want to speak on the black church, and then we can go on with the subject. Black churches here did little to nothing. I'm going to keep it 100. I'm going to say Asheville, North Carolina. Black churches here did little to nothing. Shouts out to the white churches. I'm not trying to kiss up, but the white churches were out there with food, hot food every Saturday and Sunday morning, hot lunch every Saturday afternoon, every week, rain, snow, shine, whatever. Not one black church was out there. We had a church, First Presbyterian Church. We call them the Red Door. They didn't care what you did. You didn't even have to believe in God. You come in there, they fed you. It was Muslims there. Everybody was there. They fed you. We talked. We laughed. They had the clothes closet. Come get your clothes. Shout out, Tanya. That's what I'm saying. They had a clothes closet. Get what you want. It was a situation where a few of us got together, and we just sitting there. Black church sitting right there. Had food, wouldn't give us nothing. One person said, yo, can I get a plate? They said, nah, you got to pay. A bunch of people from white church came and stopped and said, yo, y'all want this? They gave us basically a whole spread wrapped up. Said, here you go. A kid from that church walked over to ask, could he have a plate? We said, yeah. He said, they charging my mama to eat. His mama came over. They were members of that church. His mama came over and ate with us. And we said, we're homeless. And she said, they got food and they wouldn't even let us eat because even though we're members, we still have to pay. This is on a Sunday. Black churches around here, the way they did things, people say, why are you shaming? I'm shaming them. I'm keeping it 100. You had to become a member. If you ate at their church, are you gonna become a member now? And they, in a subtle way, they tell you, we don't want you here anymore. Right here in Asheville, North Carolina, I'm calling them out. I don't care because it was hard out there. A lot of black people went through a lot of stuff, and these black churches here did nothing. Nothing. And I'm not boosting up white churches, but the white churches here bust their ass every week. 3 days a week. Feeding everyone. Doing whatever they had to do. Didn't ask for nothing back. So that's another reason why in 2008, I was kind of like in the middle. I was like, I'm done with the church. They did zero. And I see that in a lot of places. All this money, driving around a fancy car, but you can see a homeless person and they turn their noses up at them. That's why I don't trust them. And to this day, shout out to my brother Dwele, shout out to my man Herman, best believe right. They do a lot for the community. But the majority of black churches here in Asheville, North Carolina don't do shit. And I'm keeping it 100. That's it.
I don't know. I agree.
That's my thoughts for the day.
Even like most communities who they take donations, or they have people who will literally take donations from different places, or to take their own money. I know, especially here, because a lot of times the local governments don't want to fund anything for homeless people. It's like they want to keep you where you are. And I tell everybody, to me, homelessness, the crisis of healthcare, mental health, all go hand in hand.
Yeah, big time.
Because when a person is homeless, they don't have access to adequate healthcare. They can't afford healthcare. They're malnutrition most of the time because they can't afford to eat. Then you have the hope that you can make it to one of the food banks or somewhere where you can go eat. And then you also have the matter of mental health. Let me just touch on this. The biggest misconception: all homeless people are not crazy. They're not lazy. I know I probably jumped the gun. I'm sorry, but it's where I wanted to go.
No, we just
I'm saying that to say this because that's the main thing that people, you can just get up and get a job. I work trying to find another job. It's hard to find a job.
And we don't have no stability at home.
You know people who know people. A lot of these people that's high. Let me just say this. A lot of people who are homeless are well educated. Think about this. Why do some people become homeless? And everybody who homeless is not drug addicts.
Right. I wasn't.
And I'm glad you pointed that out too. Some people just fell down on hard times. Again, our homeless population increased during COVID and after. People are still displaced right now after COVID. So one of the other things is like lack of income. A person can work, but like I said, living paycheck to paycheck, your rent going up, but your pay not going up. Let's say you have children or you get sick and you need medication, you need certain things. Everyday living is costly.
Yeah.
If you're making either minimum wage or below minimum wage in some places because they think, we don't raise it to whatever 10 or whatever. What the fuck is that?
Before you go any further, they did a study here, the cost of living. They said the minimum has to be at least $18 here in Asheville. You got all these restaurants, Bojangles, and all these stuff, $14 and $15 an hour. If the cost of living is $18, why are you trying to hire people at $14 and $15? Basically, you're saying, look here, we just need you. We don't care about you.
And that's still not enough.
No, 18 is still not enough.
Truthfully. And honestly, because think about it, if you gotta pay rent, or if you want to rent a place, even renting a room is like renting a 1-bedroom condo these days.
Right.
So just to rent a room for some people, they like $1,200 a month. And this is just a room you gotta share the bathroom.
Let's not talk about the deposit.
share all of these. Don't talk about the deposit. Okay, you right about that. So now you got to come up with that.
Mm-hmm.
And then on top of that, so people literally can't afford the rent. So
Right.
then people want get a job. Education. Let's talk about it. In America, education ain't free.
No.
Education system here in Baltimore sucks ass. As you see, most of the kids don't want to go because it sucks ass.
Yeah.
Right? You see it all over the news. That's a whole nother show, though. I ain't even gonna get into that. So then
We
you
got
want to
plenty
talk
of time
about
for next week
fundamental
too. Mm-hmm.
resources, career centers, resource centers closed. They're replaced with what? Condos. Who can afford that?
Right.
So you take the resources
No,
to
not condos, affordable
better
housing.
themselves, and mainly the resources of positivity, like the libraries,
Mm-hmm.
resource training centers, things like that, are shut down throughout the city in the areas that need it the most.
Yeah.
But then you wonder why the crime rate increased. Whole nother show. I'm gonna stay on topic.
Well, we got plenty of weeks ahead of us, so we can break that down.
So even with saying that, so then you got job loss. So now you got the crime rate high. So now you got a number of men and women
Mm-hmm.
going to jail. When they come home from jail, guess what? They right back in the homeless population because now they can't even get approved for a place because they have a record.
Right.
And that disqualify you from something, but then you quick to say you need to do something, get on your job. How? Most jobs going to look at your record and tell you, oh, we can't hire you because you. So even if you want to come home and work, you getting doors slammed in your face just because you have a record, regardless of what your educational background is, regardless of what your work experience is. All they see is that you were a criminal.
You know what? I
That's it.
saw.
So now that adds more to the homeless rate, and then you telling people, "Oh, just get a job." How about we create programs? Um, there is a resource for some felons. That's if you're in the Baltimore area. I'll tell that towards the end of the show. Um, but a lot of these programs, because it's so few, it's
Mm-hmm.
hard for some people to get in, and that's the unfortunate part.
You know what? I saw so many people, professional people, that were homeless, nurses, doctors. I seen a freaking surgeon who was homeless because of the stuff that went on 2007, 2008 when the housing crisis. A freaking surgeon was homeless. I seen the freaking cop, and I'm like, what? So many people. And I'm looking at me. I'm like, at that time I wasn't a chef. I was converting over. I was still like an EMT, but I was, moving over. And I was like, and think about what I said, man, this is all I am. And these guys, like, before they got home, they were making like twice as much as me. They're on the street, and people think that everyone who goes on the street is you being homeless will make your mental disappear. It will drive you crazy because you feel like you're hopeless, like nothing. Because I know when I was out there, my family tell you, my mental up here, you couldn't crack me. But even when I was out there, I felt like I didn't give a shit. And I always tell people the story. I say, there was one time I was the 240 bridge over here. One night I was walking, I was so screwed up in the head. Like I said, I didn't do no drugs. And to the day, no drugs, no alcohol. I didn't do nothing like that out there. I got to the point to where I was like, I'm tired of this shit. I walked across the bridge, I climbed over. I said, I'm gonna jump out in this bitch. The one thing that stopped me, I heard the song by Yolanda Adams. I can't think of the name of the song now. And it played in my head, and I thought about my daughter because at the time she was like 9.
Not the battle with Metro is that one.
Yeah, that's it. And I had always liked that song, and I turned back around because if that song did not come on, I'd have jumped. I was done. And I tell people, a lot of people go on the street, smart, intelligent, got everything together. After a while, it's gone because you feel like you can't do nothing. People slamming doors in your face, everything, and you're trying your hardest to get on your feet. I started making my money because I decided I'm going to go back to school. And my purpose was to get that college money to get me an apartment. But instead, I started liking it, and that's when I changed my career. But that was the way I actually got off the street, got my apartment, and started doing my thing. It's hard, and I kind of think that I'm not gonna say kind of think. I believe it's designed that way for us to be failures. So
I do too.
Yeah.
The
Well,
system is not for us. I know.
it,
I see it every day. I'm gonna say that without saying a whole lot. I see it every day. The
I'll say
system is
it.
not designed to help people.
Yeah,
You literally gotta have someone who give a fuck and that want to advocate and push it for you. Trust me.
yeah, it's true. The
You
system.
really gotta have somebody that's willing to, no matter how many doors get shut, like that's going to keep you afloat, but
Mm-hmm,
also going to say, we gonna go to the next one. Because I'm a firm believer of we got to get a yes. I'm not going to stop until I get a yes. I'm not going to allow you to give up on you.
that's why when
That's
people
how
say,
I do a lot in my job. But
yeah,
even more importantly, like when you said people judge people that's homeless, which is true.
yeah,
A lot of people are, and you go through and this is that and the third. And like someone said in the comments, like you can pretty much, it could be you at any given time. Let's just think about this. Mental
suicide rate
health,
is high. It's hard,
especially,
Matrix.
yes.
It's high.
But the thing about it is mental health is higher amongst people that's not homeless, but also whole nother show.
Yeah, we
So
got a lot of
even
topics ahead of
it,
us.
what's homeless people, but think about it. The main issue is depression, the stresses of being homeless.
Mm-hmm,
Because not only do you have people talking down to you as though you're less than human,
mm-hmm,
for some reason, everybody talks about humanity and they want to be treated as equal, but you forget about the people who you don't even treat as equal or you treat less than human, and you forget your humanity feature within yourself because you want to step over somebody because they are less fortunate at the moment than you. Um, but then we're not understanding. So not only do they already down on their luck and they're dealing with the everyday stresses of being homeless, now they are subject to be abused by people who are ignorant. Because we said a lot of time people attack homeless people for no reason or because they're trying to sleep and they might sleep at the airport, they might sleep in a garage. They just trying to find somewhere where they're safe so they don't have to sleep. And I don't think everything results to violence. Now, if you being an asshole and you going back and forth with somebody, okay, do your thing. However, but if you see somebody just ask them, to move. Most of them will just do that. I think it's all about approach and things like that. But not only that, you have a high risk of infectious disease
yeah,
and other diseases because you have women and men that do sexual favors
mm-hmm,
just to eat.
yeah.
And so now you have a prostitution rate. So it's so many other avenues that go into it that we ignore. So before you look at the next person and judge them, just actually maybe you might have a resource and something. And some people are really smart and don't want to be on the streets. They just fell on hard times.
Suicide.
So I always say, if it were you and you fell on hard times, how would you want to be treated?
Right. The suicide rate can be. It could be like people OD. They just fed up, or people just kill themselves. Period. It's pretty high. I think I read it was 37% or something like that. Um, it's crazy because I mean we have a real bad here. They said it's only 500 homeless people here. That's a lie.
1 second, I'm gonna
Yeah.
get that for you, Matrix. Matrix
Oh,
asks, does anyone know the suicide rate in the homeless community? I did know it, but I know it changed. Hold on. Well, go ahead,
oh
Bosco.
no, no. What I see here as of May 12, 2023, drug overdose have been the leading cause of the death rate among homeless people since 2019. According to 37% of deaths in 2020 and 2021 combined. Um, it really depends. Because some people OD, some people take so many drugs because they just fed up, and and they may just count as an OD, drug overdose, but that person might have done it on purpose. But I'm pretty sure it's high because I mean, when I was out there, I seen a lot of people, and I was out there, I guess 9 months. I seen a lot of people die, a lot of people, and it scared me because I didn't want to be any of those. I didn't do any drugs, I didn't drink or nothing. Even though I won't lie, things got so hard and seeing so many people. Exactly, Matrix, you're right, and that could be a suicide. They may not count it as a suicide, but I agree 100%. That could be a suicide. It got to the point to where I felt like um I wanted to drink or just do something because I was so fed up.
I'm
No,
sorry, I
no, go
got
ahead.
that. I think so. It's 112.5 suicidal deaths. That's just the suicide deaths, not just the attempts per 100,000 people. That's high.
It might be high because, like Mitch, you said, it might be people who
Right.
just old.
I think but we got to think that's just recorded.
Right.
All that's unrecorded because they find people every day for different reasons, and the cause of death is not there. But that's just documented. So that's the thing with statistics that I want people to also be aware of. That's just like an estimation.
Yeah.
Everything is not recorded to a T, but the percentage of depression amongst homeless people, we just talking about depression. We're not talking about bipolar, schizophrenia, because a lot of us walking around right now that's bipolar and schizophrenic, and we not diagnosed.
Right.
I'm just saying we. I ain't saying me. I know I'm not. I know my problem is. But 20 to 25% are depressed.
That's crazy.
So let's just think about that. That's documented. Think about the ones who have never walked into a medical office because they just said fuck it.
That's
whatever
1 in 4
happened
right there. That's already a lot. 1 in 4 that they got, documented. It might be 1 in 3. It's crazy.
And then it's not even so. Let's just say this. We talking about homeless people. Granted, yes. Just think about how many people overall. Just think about if you have a rough time. Trauma is real. A lot of people become homeless due to traumatic events. Whether it's the loss of a family member. We all know how family people get when it come to properties, money, and you put the family member out with nowhere to go. You don't give a fuck because you want to sell that house.
Right.
We see it a lot. And then now you have another person that's on the streets. So just imagine going from having something to having it all taken away from you. It could be like a disaster, like a house fire, anything. It could be domestic violence amongst men and women. And a lot of times, a lot of our men get put out with nowhere to go. Whether it's the mom, the auntie, the grandmother, the girlfriend, whoever go. And then I think it's also important to notice, not only is it just men and women, it's kids.
That's the sad part.
It's kids.
I've seen a lot of kids out there too.
People who have children unwanted. That's another show.
We got a lot of work. We got a lot of shows ahead of us.
Yes, that leads to the homeless rate. And just imagine, because they actually had programs for homeless youth.
Yeah.
Whether it be they could lose their parents and nobody took them in. So even like down to foster care, everybody like, call CPS. CPS throw them kids out at a certain age too.
Oh yeah.
And then now they homeless again. So you have people who
shout out Jay McDaniel.
Hey Jay. Then you have people who may have children.
Yeah.
And then parents may put them out. They may be fleeing from an abusive situation, being sexually abused or anything. So now you have a family out. Shelters be full to capacity.
Yeah.
With nowhere for people to go. And then you got to find it. And then the first thing people do is talk down on that person. Now, what do you have? Wouldn't you think about it?
You know what? For us,
people just every day just think about, I don't even want to be here no more. Whether you want to admit it or not. I say a lot of things publicly. Well, you do too, Boscoe, that people won't say publicly. Most people at some point in your life, whether you actually went through with it, I'm sick of this shit.
Yeah.
You could have just been mad and beefing with your boyfriend or your girlfriend or whoever. Fuck this shit.
Yeah.
Something could have happened. You could have lost somebody that meant the world. Yep. Just think about your mental strength and another person's mental strength is not the same. Stop thinking everybody can rationalize the same way, because that's not possible.
And see, that's where people get it wrong. Like, well, if it was me, no. Look, I'm ex-military. I was used to sleeping outside, did all that. I see all that stuff. That's what kept me alive out there. Because it's a hell of a lot. And I think Tanya said it about how they treat the veterans coming back home. There's a hell of a lot of veterans out there, males and females, a hell of a lot. And I'm like, and see, I don't regret a day of my military service, because I admit, had I not went to the military, I'd probably be dead, because I was in New York. I didn't care. I was like, you're going to shoot me. I didn't care. And I learned a lot in the military, and I use a lot of that stuff today. But it's sad that you do have those who come home, and we don't, like, when we get out, we don't know these eight. We don't know any of this help that we have. They don't tell us none of this when we get out. We don't know. So if you got an injury or anything, you don't know that. Like me, I didn't know I can go to the VA and get care. Unless I thought I had to be like missing an arm, missing a leg. I know I had to be pretty messed up to go there. It's that lady, I said, I don't really have an injury, but a bad knee, a bad ankle. And I get headaches. She said, did you get in the military? I said, yes. She said, then go out there. And I went out there. That's when they did all the tests. Said, well, I went sort of the mental doctor and cried. And she said, well, you got PTSD because of da-da-da-da-da. Told all this. And they looked at my knee and ankle. And they started giving me my money every month. But see, you don't know this when you get out because they don't tell you. And even now, I see veterans say, yo, man, you can do this. You can get that. I didn't know that. Yeah, you might want to go out there and check it out. And there's a lot of them on the street that don't know this. A lot of them out there on the street don't know they can get money for the injuries they suffered in the military or the medical care they suffered, the mental whatever, free. They don't know this. Free. And I tell veterans, I'm telling you, whoever's listening now, go to the VA because your medical care is free.
Yeah, my dad learned late.
Yeah, your medical care is free.
He was in Vietnam.
Yeah,
they
got shitted on badly. The Vietnam.
Yeah. I have like uncles and stuff that also was in Vietnam, came home.
Yeah, I felt bad for them.
It was nothing available for them coming home. So most of my uncles, except for one, is pretty straight. Even the one that's not pretty straight, that's still like my favorite uncle because he's hilarious and I do anything in the world for him. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I hope he don't kill me. But my dad was like a unique situation because during that era of that time frame, it wasn't a lot where as though they wanted to see Black men who served, who were forced to serve, come home and be anything. They didn't have a lot of programs, but they were quick to just give them drugs or introduce them to certain things that kind of mask whatever it is that they felt, whatever it is that they saw. And so I think a lot of times during that era, and then when it was like the coke, the heroin, all of that stuff happened back then. So then you have a lot of people who became addicted to substance because of that. And a lot of veterans were, and they still battle with that to this day. So I think it's important for veterans to know that there are programs, and like now every question on everything is like, are you a veteran? And you don't get the veterans. Yeah. And like you said, because most of them don't know. And we've had some that go to the VA and they be like, oh, they said they couldn't help me. And I'll be looking like, wait a minute, what? And then in a few cases I've seen where it was like kind of minimal, were they at fault? But you got to think about it. When you have somebody that's homeless that's asking for help, you're not going to always be able to reach them. They can't always call and say, hey, I forgot. They don't have anything to remind them date and time.
Yeah.
They're constantly moving around for safety. And then now you done turned them away.
You know something? I feel bad for the Vietnam veterans because had it not been for not Desert Storm, the Gulf War stuff now, they would not have got any care.
Yeah.
Because see, I was Desert Storm era. But these guys today.
Oh, you was with my other uncles.
Huh?
That's it. I had an uncle that was in Vietnam. My dad was also in Vietnam. Then I had my uncle that was in Gulf, and then I had my youngest uncle was in Gulf.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Had it not been for them, and see, what kills me, and I'm gonna call these ones out, are the people who say, "Oh, I support the veterans. I support the veterans." What do you do? I hit it all the time, and I say, "Yeah, veterans, the flag." You know what? And this is why I don't wave the flag. Because the very ones who wear these big ass flags, got 1,000 flags in their yard, they see this right here. I'm still a nigga to them. The only thing different is I'm a veteran. Oh, you're a veteran? It's like you're not like the other niggas. You're different. because I seen that when I was out there on the street. Everyone had this little attitude, and I did, I wanted to fight because during that time, out the Tuskegee Airmen, exactly, Matrix. At that time, I was so angry. I had a lot of fight in me, but they would talk shit until they found out, oh, you're a veteran? Yeah. Everything would change. I wasn't the black guy. I was the veteran. And I used to be like, I want to hit these guys because I was so angry because I was homeless. And that's why when people say, oh, I support the veterans, I'm like, what do you do to support the veterans? Do you go to the VA volunteer?
Veterans worse than the average homeless person is saying, like, because they like, you shouldn't. Man, the system is really not designed. Sometimes it feels like the system is designed to suppress and keep you where you at, right at baseline, but not on baseline.
This is the thing. Like I tell people, the system is not broken. It was created this way. No, the system broken. No, it's not. It was created this way. It's created this way. It was created to keep us right here, just above water. That's it. It's not broken. It was never created for us. And I hate it because I was the veteran out there. It was a few of us. And I felt bad for the ones who weren't veterans because they didn't get it's like they favored us. But a lot of us veterans said, nah, man, they coming with us. We had their back. Like, yo, come on. Like, it's a veterans shelter here. They wouldn't take nobody but veterans.
I wish I would have got clearance.
But we
Matrix said the system is built for you to just get crumbs. Let me tell you.
Exactly, Matrix. Exactly.
All right, I'm gonna play I'm gonna be on the fence. Mm-hmm. From experience today, recent. Mm-hmm. It's not even designed to get crumbs. Let me tell you, the system is designed for you to be strong the fuck out, addicted to something, and those are the people that get into programs, or you cannot be from this country.
Right.
People who just need help and want to get on their feet, who don't have any issues, educated, just trying to get some resources to transition from streets to a stable lifestyle, get told no every day. Every day. If you don't go and if you don't have a documented mental health issue, you are told no and you are sent right back to the street, literally to the gutter. Literally, it's designed, I feel like, and even with the crumbs, you're still just a number because you got to be in that program for that program to make money to keep the doors open for them people to treat you like shit.
Exactly. I agree 100%. Because if it wasn't built that way, they say there's more abandoned houses in the country than there are homeless people.
Then let's talk about that.
Yeah.
Think about it. Picture it. Especially in Baltimore. Mm-hmm. Every block, you might got one house that's standing.
I know.
So with all the building of homes, and I appreciate certain organizations that's trying to get buildings, but gotta fight and literally beg and grovel to get buildings just to rehab, to house homeless people, to transition them into a stable lifestyle once they get them stabilized, right?
Yep.
I'm just trying to figure out, with all of this building, and we always talking about affordable housing, everybody can afford housing. No, the fuck people can't. Affordable housing is not fucking affordable housing.
No.
Even when it comes to a lot of the voucher programs are frozen, people are still waiting 18 years to get vouchers. So now you guys still got people on the streets for years and years and years and years and years who can't get jobs. It's not because they don't want the job, but because they might be a criminal or because of how they look and they don't know where to go to shower, or their clothing might not be fit appropriate, but they only have what they have. And what they have is they're presentable. So for y'all who say go get the job, a lot of them do try to get the job, but because of how they show up with what they have on their back, they get put out or escorted out of these establishments that's hiring.
Exactly.
So then back to the housing. Some people have talents and they can rebuild. Let them work on the house Put them in a program with resources of job readiness
Mm-hmm.
or something, where so then now they can afford the housing and maybe start them on like a little small and work their way up where so they can pay equal rent.
Mm-hmm.
I don't see nothing wrong with that. Everybody should
Me
have
either.
access to fucking shelter.
Yeah, yeah. With all the property laying around here, yeah. And I mean, I shout out to McKibben, John McKibben. Yes, he has a lot of hotels around here, but the one thing I respect him about, he works. He's a shareholder of Marriott. The one thing he does around here every Sunday, he has events for the homeless. Now you can look. I work at a Loft Hotel. Look them up. Everybody know Loft Hotels is shit. But it's like he has events for the homeless. Bands playing money that come eat, and the money made goes right back out in the street. Shout out to him. Because a lot of people, millionaire. He grew up here, but he lives in Florida. A lot of people got all this money and do nothing. He has stuff for the homeless to come to our hotel. And like, yo, y'all hungry? And yeah. And the money, so whatever money we have from guests or people who come to little pool parties we have, go right to the homeless.
I don't know if y'all can comment. I got a question. How many people actually will have a conversation with somebody that's homeless? I'm not talking about now that you be the having. I mean that will at least say hello,
What's up, yo? What's good? Yeah.
something, or acknowledge that this is a person.
This is
And
why I
your
say these.
everyday normal life.
This is why I say these people who have all these flags. I never, for the 9 months I was out there, I've never seen none of them flag wearers out there volunteering to feed people. Nothing.
Mm-hmm.
Them in the black church. So I don't never want to hear how, I'm for America, I'm for this, blah, 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 blah.
How
Oh,
many
are
you
you
got on
really?
your side, Bosco? Matrix says she do.
Oh
I
yeah,
know
shout out
I
to,
do. Well,
I
you know
believe
I do every day. But even
Matrix sounds
before
legit. So yeah.
even before I started doing the type of work that I do now,
Mm-hmm.
I was still, and my friends would say, I talk to everybody. I don't care. I treat everybody
Right.
the same. I don't care what you look like, what you do, how many times you know it in front of my face. Hey,
Yeah.
finish. I wanted to tell you what happened. You can't start me off with a story and then
Yeah.
and then you be surprised. Some of these people got some jewels, some
Mm-hmm.
wisdom, and
Yeah.
experience unbeknownst. But it's like some people we get caught up in our own little bubbles and don't understand there's a whole nother reality out here that could possibly be yours at any given moment.
I never thought I'd be homeless. But the one thing before I was homeless, I used to be like, yo, what's up, homie? I still talk to him. And even now, I'm like, yo, what's up? What's up? I see some guys who are still out there. And I'm like, yo, what's up, homie? Some got their apartments. Some, I know some who said they're they living on the street. Basically, they're living off the grid. And I'm like, they work.
Mm-hmm.
They do little odd jobs here. And but they said, look, they said it was easy. It's easier for them to live on the street now because, and I respect them for that. If that's,
Some people fear getting put out of stability or being
yeah,
stable and having it taken away from them. That's really a
exactly.
thing. And I think I'm glad you did touch on that because there are quite a few people. Well, there's a good population of people who are employed that live on the streets. Because they barely can afford, even if they can afford the rent, they can't afford the utilities. If they
Right.
can afford that, they can't get food. Then they're getting denied for food stamps. They're getting denied for a lot of things. So all of this stuff is coming out of their check, right?
Right.
So you have people who work just so they can get a sandwich. So, I mean, and it's crazy because it's like, okay, well, if we can get you into this one, or if we do this and we can create a budget and try to help, or if I can push for this and push for that, they'd be like, no, because then what happened if I can't pay it? I'm right back to where I'm at. So I might as well stay where I'm at. And
Yep.
it's kind of like, and you looking like, damn. And sometimes you got to put yourself in people's shoes. It's
You know what? We're the richest company in the world.
And fucked up.
But we have the most incarcerated and the most homeless. Something's not adding up.
And Matrix says she helped them when she can. Do you know, just acknowledging of that they are human and talking to a person as though they're a human being and not at a person can mean more than $1.
She's right. They have some interesting story. They do. You sit and talk to one of them, they might have you screaming. They might have you screaming like, yo, hold up.
All the time. And then sometimes I feel like everybody should at least have a conversation with someone who is experiencing, I like to say experiencing homelessness, because things can change from day to day. It's just sometimes it can be an experience, sometimes that experience may be longer than others. However, talk to them. It's a humbling conversation. That's
the story.
Because it makes you count your blessings, because it could be you. Yep. Like you said throughout that, when you hear some things that people go through, some of us could never.
All right. Well, let's go to break, y'all. We'll be back in 4 minutes, y'all. Casual Convo. We're talking about homelessness. Feel free to call into the show. 410-375-8971. That's 410-375-8971. I'm your co-host, Boscoe, and that's my host, Coco. We will be back in a few minutes. Y'all come back.
Oh, it's just me? Oh.
You know what? At this point, you don't even have that here. I'm tired of hearing about what I don't do all the time. It's always what I don't do. Do I do anything right here to make sure you and the kids are all right? But look, I put you, she is several times. Twice. And you should not let people come between you and your relationship, especially people that are jealous. Like, I know it's Sunday and I cannot be perfect, right? Father, please forgive me. Where is she? Grandma, where you going? Mom, my goddamn business. Well, what are you showing them what this right here? What is this? I'm showing them how to live. You got 4 kids, right?
And of course, there's Hello there, my name is Eric, and a friendly individual. Hour. Shift varies Monday through Friday, 7 a.m. to 6 p.m., including some evenings, weekends, and holidays. High school.
Hello. Hey, y'all. I guess I'm back. Can you see me? I don't see. Well, it's just me. Y'all got me. Hey, y'all. I'm back. Welcome back to the Casual Convo Show. We are talking about homelessness. So pretty much some issues that can cause a person to become homeless. We talked about that in the first half. Bosco shared his story about his personal experience with homelessness. I am also there's some things going on behind the scenes, y'all. Anyway, so but I'm gonna share a story, but this half we want to get into maybe some resources, some things that maybe can help homeless people and talk about those things as well. We just don't want to harp on the bad things. Also, I know Bosco want to talk on some misconceptions of homelessness. Soon as he come back, Rich, you gotta let him in. So anyway, I'm gonna go through some comments. Miss Eunice, hello, how are you? She said, "Hola, family." Matrix, never judge a book by its cover. And then also, I wanted to go into when Matrix was like, she helped homeless people when she can. I got like a little story about that. So I do have, well, I do help people a lot, and there was one that was like really special to me, that my family helped, and he pretty much was one of the ones like we talked about earlier that wanted to just stay within his situation, and so whenever I would see him, I would like get him coffee, a sandwich, something like that. He used to always be by the 7-Eleven that I used to go to, that I used to frequent all the time. And so did members of my family. So anyway, God rest his soul because he passed away recently. But that was one of the ones, and it's like you be surprised of how we build relationships with people and how we can help people, just something like a like coffee. And I know people will say, I ain't always got it, I don't always do this, I don't always do that, but at the end of the day, you still have to be mindful, penalize even like $1, $2 or whatever. When I was saying, because it wasn't like every day that I was seeing, it would just be like randomly. But he would mostly be there. And it would be crazy when I would run in there. He would never like keep there because I mean I'm really sweet, really kind.
What's up, y'all? Technical difficulties, but I'm going to kind of finish off things. I'm back. Bosco, my host, is having some technical difficulties right now. Some of the misconceptions we have in the street and being homeless is how people think homeless people are uneducated or bad grammar, can't work, just useless. There's people who just went out there, just didn't want to work, and they want to try to mooch off everybody. That's a lie because, oh, she's back. She's back. The aliens got me and they got you. I was just saying some misconceptions, but finish what you were saying.
Oh no, go ahead, because I was just
Oh,
telling my little story,
oh,
killing time. I think I'm
okay.
back.
Oh, like I said, people think that uneducated people, they just don't want to work, lazy, and everything else. All that's not true. I mean, you do have people out there who are lazy, don't want to work. There are people like that. But you can't look at that with everyone, because I was educated. I've always worked. I've been working since I was 9 years old as a paper boy in New York. I've always worked. I was just dealt a hand to where I found myself on the streets, and it was beyond my control. I could do nothing. I got out. I got off the streets. It's not that easy for everyone else. With me, because I wasn't doing drugs, I had never done drugs, never been to alcohol, didn't smoke cigarettes, none of those habits. I told myself, why am I out here? I don't have any of these habits. Why am I out here? And that was one of the driving forces that made me want to get off the street even faster. I said, I don't belong here. And I'm not saying anyone belongs on the street. It's just I felt within myself, I know who I was. I had a 9-year-old who was like, Dad, 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 Dad. And I had to do something for her. I had to get off the streets. But it's not that easy for everyone else, because once you get out there, you get that feeling of hopelessness, to where that mental brick starts hitting you in the head like boom, 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 and you feel like you can't do nothing. So it's not like people don't want to get off the street. There's a lot of people who would love to get off the street. It's just not that easy. Because first of all, looking for a job, people are not going to give you the opportunity, because as we spoke in the first hour, you don't dress right. But you can't dress right because you're on the street. You might have a bad odor. That's because you can't take a shower. It's a lot of factors. Transportation, you don't have the money to get to work. But I've seen people walk 2-3 miles just to go to work. But that's not everyone. So you can't throw a blanket over everyone and say, this is how homeless people are. Like I said in the first hour, if you look at me today, I look the same. I'm bigger, but dress-wise, clothing, I wear the same stuff. So you wouldn't know I was homeless. I've always dressed this way, urban. So you can't say, oh, that person's homeless because they dress that way. What's his name? The Apple guy. What's his name? Bill. Steve Jobs. What did t-shirt, jeans? Bill Gates. He dressed like an alcoholic. Like he just came from a bar. Guys worth billions. So you can't judge a person by the way. I've seen people out there who dressed up. I've seen women who dressed like they did the makeup and the whole lick. You couldn't tell they were homeless, but unless you knew them, you like, damn, she look good.
I just had this conversation with T like the other day. We were talking about, like, usually when we have a conversation, I'm gonna say it was a conversation with some guys, and they're like, shit, we wear this, we ain't no broke niggas, because and I'm looking at them like, at my experienced age, I'm a firm believer. I was seeing a lot of people who dress the part but are not the part. A lot of times when people want to wear and they get hooked on labels, jewels, all of these materialistic things, I look at it like, okay, whatever. But when you peel back them layers, it's nothing there, or they're the ones that are struggling the most, or it looked good as a facade, but everything else is just kaput. But then you, like you said, you had the ones that may look bummy or regular or homey, as you could say. Those are the ones that has a nice savings account. Those are the ones that's more stable in life. Things like that, or the ones that get overlooked because they don't look like money. And I'm a firm believer, everything that look like money ain't money. Because they want you to think that they have money, and that's the facade. So I look at stuff like that. Like I see doctors and lawyers that drive Priuses. They like a Tesla, a Benz. They want something that's reliable, that's going to get them to point A, to point B, so that they can avoid being somewhere that they don't want to go, and they're going to invest their money into that account or invest it into some type of business, matter, whatever, or just save. And that's why I tell people, look into different areas. Like everything is not for everybody. You got to find what works for you.
Yeah, I remember a guy was riding a bus, and he tried to say, "This is when I got on my feet." He was like, Look at this broke nigga. I said, yeah, well, that's why you riding the bus and I'm driving this. You know. I said, because if you had money, I said, you're going to sleep on your mama's couch. I'm going to sleep in my apartment. Period. And that's when I got on my feet. And I said, yeah, you can't judge a book by its cover. Because the same way I was back then, the same way I am now. I don't floss what I have. I tell everybody, my niece would tell you, man, said, I never floss. I was like, I got what I got, but I ain't, I'm just surviving. I don't floss nothing because just as quick as you got it, you'll lose it just as fast, if not faster. And see, that's what a lot of people don't realize.
And you be right next to the person that you was looking down on, asking them to teach you the ropes.
The guy who's flossing, running his mouth, is the same guy living with his girlfriend in the hood. Like, she got the apartment, but you're living with her. She can kick you out at any time, and you pack your stuff in your little black plastic Glad bag, and that's your house right there. So don't act like you're all that, and you at her apartment, and all your stuff can fit in a trash bag. Or you living with your mama on her couch, and the same thing, all your stuff will fit in a trash bag. Dude, you're one step from being out there on the street. So that's why some of these guys, they make me laugh. Oh, you live in the hood. Look at you. And I'm speaking up for the women right now. When dudes like, oh, you trashy bitch, you got this. But you know what? She got an apartment. You don't.
Women end up being in the same boat too.
Yeah, I'm just saying.
Yeah, I'm gonna be devil's advocate. You got
to say, oh, broke nigga. Yeah.
Yeah, they'll spend a whole refund.
Matrix. Nah, they got totes now.
Exactly. But they'll spend a whole refund on a BBL, but won't invest their money or
right.
put it in savings. So right. it just says a lot. Like, and that's what people go for. Like, they can look the part and think they can snatch up the person that's going to take care of them. So I look at it like, and I tell people all the time, be careful how you judge a person. Like Matrix said, don't judge a book by its cover, because once you flip through them chapters, it could be a prize right there, but you just never know. And I always say that, like, and I do encourage everybody to talk to someone who is homeless. I mean, that's open to receive the conversation, because it's a humbling experience. It'll be a humbling conversation, and it may give you a different look of, like, damn, they are really people. I'm sorry, it was like really people.
I got them in here. I was trying to avoid them.
No, it's just one, because one from the rain. So yeah. I said it was many people who will just, you be like, damn, you really just go through this every day, and some people, and sometimes they're the most happiest people. They don't let their situation get them down, and we sitting up here mad because we gotta get up in the morning and go to work, and we complaining about our coworkers getting on our nerves. We complaining about I don't know what I'm gonna eat today, or what should I cook. Some people don't even have that.
Got a refrigerator full of food.
Where that next meal going to come from. So even if it's cereal, even if it's like noodle, some people don't even have that. So it'd be like the little things. Like, it was a person who, she was like, told me about her story of being homeless, and she was, renting a room or whatever. And she was just like, I'm just thankful that I can, like, flush the toilet. Little things like that. And when I say, I was like, it caught me off guard, but I was intrigued, and I kept listening. And little things that we don't understand, that we take like bullshit. It's the world, like just being able to brush your teeth, just being able to make up your bed, or just being able to turn a key. Certain things like that.
Feeling is dope.
Granted, and when she said just the flush a toilet,
yeah,
and just to be able to have like little knickknacks, and just like to be able to afford a candy that she like without having to panhandle, just little things like that. And it's kind of like, when we talk about hustling, people hustle in different ways depending on their situation. Do we like it? No.
Right.
And we looking at it, but you don't know what they really. Everybody not trying to cop. Some people really trying to eat.
make a comment and answer John's question. The comment I got to make is like my niece Morena, she always says, like, when I come in my house, walk in my door, if I'm on the phone with her, I open the door, like, I always say, honey, I'm home, knowing there's nobody living here. She said, you got to stop doing that. Somebody might answer. I said, you know what? You know who's in this house? She said, who? I said, freedom. I said, thankfulness. So every time I come home, I say, honey, I'm home. I said, because I was homeless and I was able to, like you said, turn the key and walk into my own place. No one's here but me. But you know what? I'm cool with that because I could be outside with nothing, trying to find a place. So I walk in the door every day, every night, get up, whatever. Honey, I'm home all the time. As for John's question, I got locked up and all my so-called friends that I rolled with for 20 years, none of them looked out for me. I had stuff in storage. Luckily, the storage unit I had, the people there never sold my stuff. Never sold my stuff. 19 months I was locked up. Never sold my stuff. And we worked it out to where I could pay it off. And I paid it all off. But when I got out, my so-called friends, so I had nowhere to go. Nowhere to go. So I had to do it on my own. My mother had my back. But because of where she stayed at a felony, I couldn't live with her. But she would still let me stay the night. But I would have to come at night until they found out that I couldn't do it at all. But she still would give me money, whatever, to help me eat. Because that's my mama, you know. She gave me money, and she would call me. I come on and get some money. You know, we talk on the phone every day. You okay? Da, 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 da. You need to come here and sleep or whatever. She stayed in the next city over. But I could get there. I'll get there if I have to. She said, if you need to, you can lay your head, whatever you got to do. And I'm like, no, I don't want to mess up your house. But she would send me money. Even my niece would help me out the best she could. She was young at the time.
Can I ask a question?
Yeah.
So for them people who you just said would not look out for you, where are they now? Because you know how like you see some people when you going through, people act like, you know.
Oh, I'll tell you.
And as soon as you get back on your feet, they be like, yo.
I'll tell you. One of them got locked up. I'm not going to tell you his charge, but let's just say
Why?
He did a real bad thing.
What did he do?
Let's just say
Am I yelling? Do it sound like I'm yelling? Do I need to whisper?
No, you good. Let's just say, and I don't want to throw nothing at him, but he did a real bad thing. Huh?
Is it the M word like Matrix said? Read the comments.
No, not that. Not that bad.
Who do what he said? I got it. That's what it was, y'all.
Yeah, the other one had to move out of his house because he might be watching it. We're cool, but we don't hang. He had to move out of his house. Certain situations where he had to move out of his house. P word. Oh yeah. I had to think about it.
We was on the same page, man.
I had to think about that. I was like, Punani? Like, no, it ain't that. I was like, no. What kind of? A lot of them who were my homies, I put it this way, I'm doing better than them. I'm doing better than them now. And I'm not bragging, but I look at it this way. Y'all supposed to be my homies. And y'all just turned your back on me. I you know what? I counted every day I was locked up. 599 days exactly. And I said, when I got out, I told him, I said, y'all couldn't write me one letter, man. Y'all couldn't write me one letter. Just one. Gotta
get your.
Well, what's up, my man Noel? What's up, Noel? That's my man right there. What's up, Noel? Good. Thank you for tuning in, man. Thank you for tuning in. I ain't seen you in a while, but that's my dude there. Yeah, they.
You know what's funny? You know, I'm teetering fences here. without saying it. So if I'm like one time, it happens often, but this one particular time I was going to get my lunch, right? I had my badge and stuff on. So somebody stopped me. It was a guy. He was like, "You work da 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 da." So in my mind, I'm like, I work right there. You see it. So he was like, "They changed my life," and he started telling me how literally he was on the streets for like almost 10 years.
Wow.
He had substance use, alcoholism, something else, all because he was grieving. He lost it, like he just didn't have nobody. Like the home that his mom had, whatever, when she passed, something happened, lost the house, whatever. So he was just on the street. So he was just out there. So he said he ran into somebody who worked where I work and was like, "Hey, won't you come down?" Because like I said, kept seeing him or whatever, and was like, "Come in there, ask for me. I'm gonna look out for you. This is and third. Pretty much like I'm gonna help you out. You don't need to be out here like that." Because I guess they had a conversation, right? And he said that one conversation changed his life. He said, "I ain't gonna lie, I ain't go the first time. The person went back because sometimes we, had people that go out in the community, right? And came back and was like, 'What's up?' You know what I mean? Not forcefully, but just like, whenever you're ready." So he said, one day I ain't had no money to get his stuff. So he said, "I'm going to go in there." So he went in there, just talked to him. So the person said, "Give me 30 days. If I can't do nothing for you to make you feel like you're worth it, you can do whatever it is you want to do." Gave him 30 days. He said within 3, he got into a program that was a housing program. Got clean. He said from the day he walked into that program, got released, went back to, the resources that we give. That particular person worked with him. He was like, he has not touched a drug or liquor since that day. And at the time when we talked, he was 18 years clean.
Wow.
Driving a Benz and got his own business.
I want to shout out Noah Armstrong right quick. Tell you what this man did.
What happened?
Last year or the year before, I was doing a drive for school supplies.
Him and his private chat. Get the fuck out of here.
Yeah, we'll talk about that.
Oh, I'm sorry, y'all. My bad.
Noel Armstrong. Alex, I was trying to get money together for a drive for kids, get the school supplies to pass out. He was the first person to donate. Him and his girl, Susan, first one. Yeah, he's a good dude. He's a good dude. He be going on vacation though. I wish he'd take me. Him and his wife take me. Shout out to his wife Susan. I said adopt me. They be traveling everywhere.
No, but I wanted to tell that story to I'm sorry, not to cut you off.
No, I wasn't.
But I told that story to say you'd be surprised with one conversation of what jewels you can give somebody, or how much you can motivate somebody to want different because you just treated them as a human. And that's the one thing he said. He said that the person didn't come like, do this, it wasn't like a dictatorship. It was more so like, you have an option. And he pretty much let him make the decision. And he was like, that was the best thing that could have ever happened. He said, you could not tell him like 18 years prior that his life that he's living now would be his life. And he actually was like, I'll talk, because I tell everybody, y'all good people. You just gotta trust the process. And I think with anything, and I tell people all the time, if you do what you gotta do, I'm gonna do what I gotta do. It only works if we work together, right? So I think when it comes to like resources that people know about, even if you know somewhere that's hiring, like here in Baltimore, I don't know about no other spots, but usually your local mayor's office, they have connections to different shelters or programs that will house you, even if it's temporary housing, that can assist people with getting permanent housing, whether it's a voucher program, a person getting clean. They have job readiness programs, and a lot of us don't know because it's not like they plaster them everywhere. You got places like for healthcare for people, and they have several of them throughout the United States. You got like healthcare for the homeless. It might be called something different in your state, but you so them resources, even down to certain shelters. Don't sleep on the shelters. Certain shelters have certain programs as well that can maybe help a person get housing or get them off the streets, even if it's temporarily. Now, if the person mess up, they mess up, and some people fall back. Nobody's perfect, even in our own life. We nobody lives a perfect life. We all got something fucked up about us, right? So don't look down on a person, even if they were doing good and they fell back. It happens. It's how they pick themselves back up. And they might come back a little bit stronger. They might have just fell back a little bit because life be lifing differently for everybody. So you have those things like that, but I would definitely say even down to what is it? I got it. Hold on. Like you got Coalition for the Homeless, that's like a government agency. And then you have, if you go to, because they be giving out phones. I know here in Baltimore, they give them like the government phones and they can go online and stuff. So I even try to walk them through like, okay, if you feel like you want to do something, call 211 or 311. That's the number here. And they'll connect you to different like cooling centers, things like that. Or you can go to like HHS.gov and and you can click on homeless resources and programs. It can give you a list of different things. And that usually you got to do like this like questionnaire for some of them. It's boring. People don't like to do it, but it helps find the best suitable program for you, for you or that person. So if you know anybody that's on the verge of homelessness, that is homeless, look into those things. No matter what state you're in or what state you're from, try your local mayor's office. That's why it's also good to know who your political people are, because them programs are there and they are the ones responsible for keeping them programs going and keeping them lit. So for the community, so we got to use them so we don't lose them.
Two things that helped me, and people who are looking for jobs, who are homeless, if you have the skills, federal jobs will hire felons quick. People don't think that federal job will hire you fast. The only thing with a federal job, you have to be 100% honest about your criminal background. If they find that you lied about anything, they won't hire you. Because at the VA, there's so many felons, they will hire you fast. If you have that skill, you just have to be honest. Secondly, there's a form, I call it a letter of explanation. People have it different places. Write yourself a letter of explanation. You don't have to put down your crimes. You basically saying, look, I made my mistakes, da-da-da-da-da-da-da. You can put down your most heinous crime, say whatever, but don't blame the victim. Even if the person, even if you went to your girl's house, she smacked the shit out of you, beat you with the broom, and you winded up, I don't know, tossing her through a window, don't blame her for it. Just be like, things happen, and I lost my cool, but I've learned from Mama said, I got a copy of one. That's another thing I need to post up. So
also, I don't know about any other states, but I know here in Baltimore, Turnaround Tuesdays is also a program for felons. What that
we got
is,
one like that. Yeah, it's all oh shoot, I can't think of the name of it right now. But we have a program. Similar? I heard about that. Yeah, we have one similar. Yeah,
I know here it's a program where you will go on designated Tuesdays. You will work with someone. They do like job readiness, skills training, things like that. They prepare you to transition back into the work world so that you can maintain job stability. So once you finish that piece, they usually assist you with transitioning into getting into like local hospitals, warehouses, jobs who typically wouldn't hire felons, but going through that program is kind of like help you get your feet wet, and then it's up to you how you move around within that company or whatever. And a lot of people are really successful within that program. Also, what was the other one? There's also I know for a fact in Baltimore, if try to get with somebody like a social worker, a case management, somebody that can advocate and that will know the lingo.
Right.
That service is available at different places, like I said, through the mayor's office. There's certain like city government agencies that are designed to assist and be advocates for homeless people, people going through tough times, things like that, to help you transition and to make you aware of these programs and walk you through the process of these programs. You may also have things like reentry programs for felons, for people who, let's say you don't have a place to stay and you just coming home. They do have, it's a process. Sometimes it's a list. You might gotta wait a little bit, but it's nothing wrong with getting your name put on that list, because sometimes it may not come right when you want it, but it will come right on time when you need it. I'm a firm believer of that. And whoever it is can explain that. I don't know whatever state you're listening or watching from. That's also an additional one you might want to ask about, of like, is there any like housing reentry programs if you are a felon? Because there's a good number of our population, especially of young men who were incarcerated, or even older men who've been incarcerated for a long period of time and coming home and don't know where nothing at. Go to the mayor's office.
Don't
Get
be afraid.
somebody, walk into these facilities. And I know a lot of times our pride won't let us do certain things, but once you go in, hopefully, I know sometimes some people can be assholes, some people can be ignorant as fuck, but they still got a job to do. And hopefully you will get a good one who will really advocate for you and walk you through the process, make the necessary phone calls, and bring you in and work with you diligently with, so you can be okay. But also be mindful, if you know somebody who's homeless, facing homeless, or even if yourself may be on the verge of something, also be proactive, look into those programs. But it's also patience is the main thing. Everything doesn't just come. You just can't call and then you get placed or housed. You got, like we talked about how the system is designed, it's just like you got to help people help you. And you're right. That's why I was saying, Major, sometimes those people are nasty. I'm going to be on the fence a little bit. And I'm going to just break this one wall. I've had clients come and meet me for the first time. And they got attitudes.
Yeah.
We are people too. People who come in be people too. And a lot of times that depict the attitude. And then some people don't know how to manage their workflow. Not giving an excuse, but some people can have a bunch of people that come in that's getting smart, because I get it. You know, your situation is messed up. And then you tired, you frustrated, you going through what you going. I don't know what happened to you outside.
Right.
So we take that. And then sometimes by the time we get to the fourth or fifth person, you like, yes. Now, is it right? No. But then sometimes I think that's where the team is important, where so you like, just take a minute. I'll see this one, or I got this one. And I think that goes along to the type of working environment that you have. So don't give up, because at the end of the day, they still got to do their job.
Here is the Goodwill, Goodwill. We have Project Reentry. They do that. They'll teach you how to do resumes and the whole thing. They'll help you look for jobs, blah 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 blah. Even at the EOC here, we have a veterans rep for those who are veterans who've been locked up or whatever, help you get going. And just like the EOC, they got regular people, but the veteran rep will help everybody. As for dealing with those knuckleheads, well, the dealing with the people who you have to talk to get help. The way I did it, if they had an attitude, I still maintain. I still talk to them business wise. I was dressed nice. So I let them know I come for business. So whatever attitude they had because of whoever pissed them off, they looked at me like, this nigga's unflappable. Because I'm there for business, and that's what you do. They're going to have an attitude. And like I said, sometimes, they deal with a lot of people. And they got to deal with a lot of different attitudes. So after a while, they are like, and like that, yeah.
I do got something to say to the people on the other end, not the person that's coming in for the service, People like me. Stop taking everything personal.
Yeah.
Because a lot of times it's not about you. People are coming to you because they need help.
And they're frustrated too.
The one thing I try to do is sometimes some people just need to get shit out. It don't even be about you. You just are on the, unfortunately,
just
on
the
the
way.
receiving end. And this is where I felt, or where they felt like they could get it out. I've had many a day where people have come into my office and went the fuck off, right? And I sit there.
Yeah.
And I let them get it out. And I'm like, okay, all right, were you done? Okay, so now you have two options.
Yeah.
You can talk to me civilized, or we can end this visit now. And you can get someone else, or you can try again tomorrow. We're not gonna get nowhere with this. So I try to create my boundaries and my barriers up front. That's not to say I'm not going to be rude about it. So once you make that decision and I talk to you, I'm not going to ever give back the same energy, but I'm going to talk to you as though you're a human being. Like, listen, let me explain some things to you. And a lot of times people just don't know. And they feel like you're going to judge them for not knowing, or they already feel like Matrix said, they're what we're judging. I tell everybody, my office is a judge-free zone. You can say whatever you want, but just be mindful of how you say it, and we just gonna have a conversation. But a lot of people don't have that approach, which is like that. But I think a lot of times it's important, if you work with the public, you cannot take everything personal, because everything don't be about you unless you are an asshole. So yes, you're going to get asshole back, because some people don't walk in like that. It's your attitude. And I'm saying that as on a professional side, is sometimes you have to be the bigger person and de-escalate. If you can't de-escalate, then you need to recuse yourself. But one thing I will never do is go back and forth with a patient.
Nah.
At all.
Right. I agree. Yeah, except if you're out there, use the resources that are out there. It's gonna get frustrated because like, so you have to deal with certain people. You might have to jump through hoops and go to this person and this person, this person, this person. Because I had to do that, but I told myself I was going to do it. And then we're all not the same. Sometimes you may not be able to, but
and share the resources.
Share the right.
Can I just take one?
Yeah. Oh yeah. Please say this. Yeah.
This is the one thing that I dislike, especially in our communities. When I say our communities, I'm talking about us.
Right.
We have a tendency to know shit and don't want to share information.
Right.
Information is free. It don't cost you nothing. We are the biggest community of people who are afraid to see people get on their feet. We like to see people down, struggling, and not have.
Right.
And it's really, really fucked up, and it's disheartening to see. If you see somebody and they may not know, point them in a direction. If someone asks you, you can say, "Oh, hey, I was watching Casual Convo. They was talking about, you ever think about trying that? Let me call and put them on speaker." Da 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 da. I meet people daily, even just randomly. Like I said, Bubba, it's me going to get lunch. We just walking, doing something, and depending on the conversation, if I have information, and I'm not even just talking about on a homeless level, it could be anything. It could be job wise. Just like somebody asks a question, even if it's down to something like you have on. People, I ain't telling nobody. For what? What are you holding on to it for? Why do you hold information that could be valuable to the next person because you fear someone else to be more successful or to get on their feet and be better than you?
Right.
I don't understand that mentality. I never wish to understand that mentality. I'm the type of person, I want to see everybody win. I feel like there's enough resources, there's enough people where as though you can help the next person and they can pay it forward. That's all I ask. So if there's anything that you get from today, if there's any piece of information that could be helpful to someone, you know, something about that you pass, even in conversation, no matter where you are in your life, if there's a resource that can help a person get ahead, give it to them. Why do people, please stop holding on to stuff. That's why we can't get nowhere. Everybody, I ain't telling motherfucker shit. I ain't telling them. And then we wonder why so many other cultures get ahead and don't have as many. And we look into our neighborhoods, their neighborhoods don't look like ours. And then when they start gentrifying neighborhoods and they start looking clean, why? Because they working together to keep it clean. And they pushing you out. So all I'm saying is at some point you have to share information. It don't cost you shit.
No.
Well, I worked hard. I did this. I ain't giving them up. They got work just as hard as me. How you know they not? How you know they won't? But even still, you worked hard so you can sit there and down talk the next person or just be like, fuck them people.
It's crazy, man.
Y'all get on my nerves. Not y'all, but I'm just saying, them people get on my nerves.
You know, it's like, you know, like you said at the top of it when you first started, it's like they don't want to see someone do better than them. With me, I don't care if someone's doing better than me. If you're doing better than me, great.
I'm happy for you. I'm
happy for you. Because see, if you're doing better than me and I like what you're doing, I'm like, well, sure, I'm gonna try that my damn self. That's how I'm seeing it. I'm not gonna withhold information like I DJ.
Yes,
how you do that?
The ones that live in glass houses. You know the pot being a cattle calling they be the blackest pot and the blackest fucking cattle calling the other pot and cattle black, however the fucking say it go. But they just get on my fucking nerves.
Yeah, I've never, I've never held information from people, whether it come to DJ, whatever I do. I've never held information from because I'm like, I already know how to do it, especially if I don't understand it, and we do have that problem in our community. It's like we don't. It's like we're conditioned. I don't know. It pisses me off.
Seeing a homeless person or somebody having a mental breakdown or they having a manic episode, don't record them. Call 911, get them some help, get them admitted so that they can get help. We will sit and watch people, and then you wonder why the fuck they end up in jail because they done committed the worst crime ever. Whoever created the fucking video on the cell phone, we use it for the wrong purposes. That's not what it was made for, to destroy.
No, we will watch people get
somebody that need help, medical attention, anything. Don't record a person in an episode of somebody like high going off. That shit is not funny. Number one,
no,
it's very difficult. You don't know what that person is going through, and as soon as something happened to you or somebody by that same person who you was just laughing at or who you just said that because you wanted to go viral or because you wanted to get the clicks and views, so you wanted to post somebody else's episode or traumatic experience or anything or behavior of them being down and out and at their lowest, because I consider that your low.
It's all good. The rabbit got to go.
Get that person some help. We make ourselves look stupid to other cultures, and I'm gonna be the person to say it.
I'm gonna say it too because you know what, and then we'll like it irritates me because I say this stuff on my wall, and there's always somebody, 2 or 3. There's always 2 or 3. I was gonna say something else that throws the blame.
When you start biting your tongue, huh? When you start biting your tongue today?
Okay, it's always 2 or 3 of the opposite persuasion who puts it on their persuasion. Well, if it wasn't for we need to start being accountable for the act. Just like something happened. Something happened a couple of weeks ago, not the sub. And I had mentioned, it's the John Moran thing. I said, now that everyone's talking about, everyone wants to use the mental. Now, don't get me wrong. We're talking about mental health, and we know mental health is cool. But now everyone is using the mental health excuse for stuff stupid shit they did. And that's like John Morant, he got caught with the gun the first time. After aiming a gun at a 17-year-old, pistol whipping the kid, aiming the red light at the freaking Indiana Pacers team bus, at the freaking trainers and at the players. He did all this stuff. Went to the freaking commissioner. Oh man, my bad. Went on MTV. Went on ESPN talking to Jalen Rose. Yeah, that wasn't me. I was stupid. That ain't me. Then he turned around and did it again. Then Some white folks said, "Don't blame him. White people have this is the product of a person who's went through a." I said, "Shut up." I said, "This man had his mama and his daddy all his life. He screwed up." I said, and there's a certain person who's in the comments. I'm not going to say his name because I don't want to call him out. That's these apologetic Negroes who don't want to hold people accountable. They use mental health, saying, "Oh, he's going through a mental health thing right now. He needs." You know, when you pull out a gun and flash it on social media 2 times, you know what the hell you're doing.
That's intentional.
You know what you're doing. Now, if you in the street,
Matrix said that was a lighter gun.
Now, if you're in the street, butt ass naked, waving the gun, screaming, "I'm Jesus," there's a good chance something's wrong up here. Now, that's mental. Because that individual butt ass naked in the street, waving a gun, talking about he's Jesus, he might have something going on. But
what I find disappointing in that is now everybody, at one time, we couldn't get nobody to even mention mental health. Yeah. Now I feel like people are exploiting mental health, whereas though the awareness piece and the educational piece is getting lost, and the people that really need the help are not getting it, and they are being overshadowed by the bull crap. So when they go, everybody think, "Oh, everybody just crazy."
You know what?
Let's just keep it a buck.
Yeah.
I will say this. When people make the term, "Oh, now everybody just crazy." Yes, and let me explain to you why, especially in our poverty and lower income communities. Well, it's really all over now. One, just think about it. On social media, most people that's probably on here see what every day. Rest in peace. Everybody has witnessed something. Just the turmoil. PTSD is real. A lot of our youth are suffering from PTSD. Just think of how many young men have either witnessed or been on the receiving end or the giving end of a violent situation, or who have experienced some type of trauma within their life due to their home situation, whether it was parental, anything, school, anything. Just today, kids go through something a little bit different. I couldn't raise a kid today. But I look at it to say, just think about how many see that's not getting help, don't have nobody to talk to, and they just keep going. So now they so defensive and they walking around with an S on their chest. That is because of what they witnessed and what they experienced. And sometimes our environment can mess us up mentally. So we tend to overlook that and be like, "I want to get them kids some help." And especially in our homes, we ignore a lot, but we'll put the kid out. So now you just put the kid out
without a plan.
Homeless, PTSD, depressed, probably
got to fend for himself. Yeah.
A lot of times when people don't do the onset for most men are through like the ages of like 18 to 24 for the first actual episode, and then
exactly, Matrix. That's what Matrix hit it. That's what I was saying last week. And see, that's also what I was saying last time when me and Fallon talked about the Me Too. I was saying the Me Too is real. There are women and men who have been abused, but you have those out there who are just jumping on it, and they're making it to where those who have really, really had the trauma, they're being basically silenced. You don't hear from them because all that other nonsense, the fake stuff, and like it's like with Antonio Brown with the stuff he did. Oh, he ain't been the same since he got hit by Ray Lewis. No, Antonio Brown was doing this when he was in college. He goes on social media to get the attention, and I say stop using mental health for people who do ignorant shit and then laugh about it. But look at me. Da 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 da. No, because when people who got mental health, you could tell something's wrong with them. They got they just do the disheveled look, whatever. Like I said, a guy in the street waving a gun, butt ass naked, screaming, "I'm Jesus, I'm Jesus." He has issues. There's something wrong with him. Somebody going on social media, flashing the gun, trying to get likes and doing all this stuff. Nah, that's somebody who's trying, because he admitted, that's not me. I'm just trying to be something I'm not. So I
know this took a turn, but I just want to say this. If you have a child, teenager, and you know how we make fun of how our teenagers look and dress, and they wear hoodies and they want to be covered up all the time, you know, that's a sign of depression, major depression, poor hygiene, Some of them have access to certain things. That's the
At least
time
you need to come on the show, man.
because they don't take care of themselves. So I think it's important if you see a child or a teenager, or even if you have one and you start to see that they're always dark, and they hide themselves away to themselves, lacking their hygiene, maybe they starting to smell, starting to do whatever, no matter what you say, they still it's probably something deeper. It's okay to have them talk to somebody. You can go do family counseling, do whatever. That does not mean your child is crazy. Your child is probably holding in something that you just don't know about.
I agree, and I think that's nah, Matrix. You need to come on the show because you be smashing it for real, for real. Show your pretty face. Get on the show. Stop acting. Stop being shy. I do it, and I'm shy as hell.
That's
But
right. I'm gonna get me a glitter glove. We gonna bowl for it, mate. I'm gonna
I
get me
gotta
a
see
glitter
it.
glove just like yours, and
At
we
least
gonna
get
go bowling.
at least put the glitter glove as your
That's
avatar.
what she had, a Michael Jackson glove. Look, this is what she did. I'm sorry, y'all. We're gonna get back in 1 second. So we get to the bowling alley. So we all like, hey, who on this lane? This lane. So it's her goal, right? We all go, we just having fun. Do, 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 do. She put the glove on, like I said, well, what the fuck is this? A special glove? She bopped right on off, went grabbed her little ball that she had to take her time and choose. So I'm like, oh, she think the glove, me talking shit.
Oh, man.
Glove ain't going to do nothing. She went back, shwoop, that's like strike. I said, oh, I gotta get me a glove now. Oh, you cheating? Every time
Hold
she
on. So she got the Michael Jackson glitter glove.
bowling strikes like a motherfucker with the glitter glove. I said, what she got? Michael Jackson in the glove or something? Cause she was tired of laying up. I said, I'm gonna get me a glitter glove and I'm coming
Oh
back. I
man,
got
I'm
you.
dead, man. I can't. I can't. Oh, you like Jude? She like Jude?
No, they friends.
But she said she looked like Jude.
They like sisters.
Oh, really? Well, hey, Matrix.
I'm gonna tell you, you cannot.
I
Okay.
put Jude in the win like 2-3 months ago. So I'm just saying. Jude put me in a. She put me in the win.
She gonna say the glove. Yeah, the glove was black, but it was full of sparkles. It was all I
Yeah,
said
if
was
it's got
chunks.
glitter, it's Mike.
And you know they dim the lights in the bowling alley.
Oh
She
yeah, so you can
come
see
through
it
with,
glitter. I gotta see the glove though. Y'all got next time y'all go, you gotta videotape that. I gotta see this.
I wanted to steal that glove and just hide it and throw it. I mean, she was killing it. So she would be like, "Watch this."
Anyway, let's get back to the show. Because we got 4 minutes left. Yeah, I mean, bottom line, forget that. Bottom line, bottom line that we're saying is you can't. It was a timber. I'm not looking at no more comments.
Right, so before we run out of time, let me just say this. If you come across anyone that's homeless or yourself is facing homelessness, your mayor's office, with whatever state that you're in, contact them. They have resources specifically for homeless, and they also have eviction prevention hotlines, information. Sometimes they have funds. It's just a matter of making sure those funds are readily available, but it doesn't hurt to help. And then they can connect you to other places that may be available, that may have funds. They're gonna try to put you in a, if you're trying to prevent eviction, if you're trying to find housing or placement so that you're not displacing on the streets. They also have family shelters. Don't just shy away from the shelters. Sometimes the shelters are put in place so that you don't have to sleep outside. And also a lot of shelters are equipped with different resources and programs to help you get out of the shelter. Um, Also, HHS.org, again, for homeless resources. That's a government website. You can go on there and find other agencies within your area, wherever you may live. Cooling centers, Our Daily Bread, House of Roof. If you're a person fleeing from domestic violence, they do have centers for women and kids. Unfortunately, the system is designed for women. It's a little harder for some men, but it's also hard for women and children to find placement in shelters or within certain things because they're flooded, extremely flooded. But just don't give up. Look into social work services, case management services, anything within your local health department, things like that. They have free clinics that will see you even if you are homeless, that will not judge you, look at you crazy or anything because of your situation. They are there and they get paid to provide that service. Utilize it. It's there for you and it's there for anybody that you may know. If you can, talk to a homeless person. I promise you, you will look at your life differently. You will be way more humble than what you walked into that conversation with, and you may look differently and understand that they are human beings too. So before you judge a person who's down on hard times or who may be homeless, sleeping outside, sleeping in the gutter, who may be panhandling, just put yourself in that person's shoes.
Listen to that story.
Yep. And just don't judge them. If you don't got it, just say you ain't got to do a whole bunch of extra. Get it done. Ain't nobody ask you all that. Just say no and keep it pushing and keep it moving. Because you don't know what that could do to a person, and that person can take their life. It's real out here.
Right.
Also, as we saw during the break, go get your tickets. Robert J. Moore at robertjmooreent.com. His hit play Are You Marriage Material is coming to Baltimore July 29th and 30th at the Arena Players. Tickets are $35 for general admission, I believe $45 for VIP. Tickets are on sale. Go to robertjmooreent.com.
Y'all got that?
Yep. And we're gonna be there. Ham Radio gonna be there. Come out. And if you happen to see me, you in Baltimore, wherever you may be, if you happen to see Boscoe in North Carolina, South Carolina, just talk to him. We talk to everybody.
Yeah, I'll talk to you. Yeah. But anyway.
But next week is your show. Open discussion, send us some topics.
Yep. Anyway, it's the time of the day, time of the night for us to say goodbye. For my host, Coco, I am Boscoe from Bronx. Check me out from 6 to 8 p.m. on handradio.org. I'm mixing your oldies, your newbies, everything nonstop, 2 hours, commercial-free music. Check us out every Wednesday from 8 p.m. 10 p.m. on Facebook, Instagram, handradio.org. Check out our replays on YouTube. We got it all going on. We're Casual Convo. We are out. Peace, y'all.
See y'all.
And I think
not yet, though.
Well, until he cut us off, he might be back behind the board sleeping. Let me tell you a little story.
While we talking. Anyway, we hope y'all enjoyed us.
Yeah, for real. Where is our board man?
Oh, he must know what. Anyway, what y'all doing?
Until he cuts us off, here's a joke. If 5 ants rent to 5 other ants, what do you have? 10 ants.
Corny.
10 ants. That's it.
I didn't want to sleep or something. Well, I mean, y'all got something.
There we go. But I'm still live.
Robert J. Moore Productions presents Are You Marriage Material? July 29th and 30th at the Arena Players Theater, located on 801 McCullough Street, Baltimore, Maryland. Tickets are going fast. Get your tickets now. General admission is only $35. Senior citizens $30. Purchase your tickets at www.robertjmooreent.com. Are You Marriage Material? July 29th and 30th at the Arena Players Theater. You don't want to miss it. What?